When it comes to Formula One, advanced engineering and cutting-edge technology are the top priorities. This is why Formula One cars are considered the best of their kind. There is no other car that is as well designed and well engineered. Boasting its cutting-edge technology, you'd think Formula One cars have everything. And there's one recurring question by fans, old and new alike: are Formula One cars electric or petrol-powered? Let us save you time by answering that question right now, right here. Formula One cars are petrol-powered, and they will be at least for the next few years. Why are Formula One cars not electric? Car manufacturers, from Audi to Volvo, are starting to go all electric as preparation for the future. But why not bring this technology to Formula One? Let us try to explain why through simple science. In Formula One, a race distance is about 200 miles. The amount of energy it takes to complete a Grand Prix that long is just not something an electric-powered battery can manage to produce. Per race, Formula One cars are given 242.5 pounds of fuel. At gasoline's usual energy density of 12,889 watt-hours/kg, a full tank's potential energy is brought up to a hair over 1,400 kilowatt-hours. However, Formula One cars are designed to only convert just over 50% of potential energy into horsepower. This means the amount of propulsion actually generated by the engine is just around 700 kilowatt-hours. And with the energy recovery systems of Formula One cars, an additional 1.11 kilowatt-hours per lap is contributed. With this, the total energy expenditure over a race distance is only somewhere around 750 kilowatt-hours. Of course, not every joule of that 750 kilowatt-hours has to be stored on board a hypothetical electric-powered race car. In order for cars to reach the finish line, regenerative braking also plays an important role. However, the energy it contributes is only a small fraction of the energy needed to finish a race. According to estimates, only as little as 4% can be contributed by a superbike's regenerative braking in a race. This figure can only reach up to 20 to 25% by an electric-powered race car. Additionally, Formula One's drag-heavy aero generates almost 1 gram of deceleration at high speeds, reducing these digits. Considering a Formula One car's mean race weight of 1,942 pounds, storing enough energy in a battery to complete one Grand Prix, with no recharging in between, is just not possible. It is estimated that lithium-ion batteries can deliver up to 265 watt-hours/kg of energy. That's hardly 1/48 the density of gasoline. A lithium-ion battery weighing 5,200 pounds would also be needed. Imagine racing with a battery that heavy around a track at the speed of a Formula One car for an entire Grand Prix. In numbers, it will require 1,674 kilowatt-hours of energy. What about allowing recharges in between races? In the current way Formula One is doing things, charging fast enough isn't possible. Battery replacements are also out of the question, as well as car swapping. To summarize, if Formula One can solve this energy generation problem posed by full electric cars, which will allow a Formula One car to run a full race with no sweat at all, we might be able to see batteries take over the circuits. But as of today, this is just not possible. What kind of engine do Formula One cars use? All Formula One cars are equipped with the same specification power unit, a 1.6-liter 4-stroke turbocharged 90-degree V6 reciprocating engine. The F1 power unit is divided into 4 parts. The motor generator unit, which recovers energy from the turbo. The motor generator unit, which recovers energy from the rear axle. The internal combustion engine. The turbo. Last season, drivers could use 3 of each of the above 4 parts. If they used more, they were penalized. Additionally, each power unit is equipped with an energy recovery system which harvests extra heat energy from the brakes and exhaust of the cars. Following the FIA's engine freeze, the 2022 Formula One cars will keep the same specifications as the 2021 cars, with one change: the motor generator unit heat (MGUH) system will be removed from the 2022 Formula One engines. The motor generator unit kinetic (MGUK) will overcome this problem by being more powerful, and by relying more on the driver and allowing them to use it strategically throughout a race. This takes us to the next question. What fuel do Formula One cars use? Formula One cars use a controlled mixture of ordinary gasoline. Under current regulations, cars run on fuel containing 5.75% biocomponents. The 2022 season will see the biocomponent ratio at 10%. This is possible by moving to E10 fuel, a mixture of 90% fossil fuel and 10% ethanol. Despite the fact that Formula One cars can use 110 kilograms of fuel per race, 305 kilometers/190 miles, they do not always fill up with that much fuel. This is due to the fact that the heavier a car starts with, the more time it costs per lap. To allow drivers to push more of the time, Formula One cars are now allowed to use 110 kilograms of fuel per race since 2019. With today's aerodynamics, cars are creating more downforce and resulting in increased drag, which is increasing fuel consumption across the grid and causing drivers to use lift and coast to reach the end of the race. What are the fuel testing rules for Formula One? Many still view high fuel consumption as a good thing, because it indicates that a vehicle is being driven to its limits. But with the current era of hybrid technology increasing efficiency, opting for clean energy and racing for sustainability, the face of motorsport is evolving quite dramatically. To ensure an even playground for all teams competing in races, much like the designs of Formula One cars, the fuel use is also strictly regulated. You may remember one of the biggest disappointments of the most recent Formula One season, when Sebastian Vettel was disqualified after placing second in August. Why the disqualification? Vettel failed to provide enough fuel samples. Formula One's strict fuel rules state that competitors must ensure that a 1.0 liter sample of fuel may be taken at any time during the event. This is because running less fuel can increase performance. Analyzing and checking that sample for compliance with the relevant standards and rules is then possible. The sample is also compared to the sample provided from the beginning of the year to ensure that the composition is the same. Gas chromatography is used to analyze fuels, which separates them into their various components. Do Formula One cars refuel? Formula One cars haven't been allowed to refuel since 2010. To reduce costs and improve safety, the FIA decided to ban them. Currently, the cars are given full tanks to start the race. Fuel management is crucial so that the drivers will not run out of fuel before crossing the finish line. Yes, it is true that refueling added more ways to strategize and made the sport more thrilling, but FIA decided it was not worth it to sacrifice the safety of drivers and mechanics due to some accidents that used to be part of the game. What is the 2022 engine freeze? A development freeze essentially prevents further engine development during a specific time frame. All engine manufacturers in Formula One will be prevented from developing their engines as a result of this. Formula One currently has 4 engine manufacturers: Mercedes, Honda, at least until Red Bull takes over in 2022, Renault, and Ferrari. Following the graceful exit of Honda from the Formula One scene, Red Bull has been compelled to announce plans to take over the intellectual property of the Japanese manufacturer's power unit. However, the company has repeatedly stated that they cannot continue to update the engine each season due to the high costs involved. Hence, Red Bull's put forward a proposal for an engine freeze beginning 2022 and which shall last until 2025. Initially, Ferrari and Renault were among those who opposed this proposal. Nevertheless, as the proposal gained traction, all the teams came around to the idea. The proposal was finally adopted on February 11. As a result, 2022 Formula One cars will feature the same engines as the 2021 cars due to the implementation of the 2022 Formula One regulations. While it is not entirely impossible for a future with only batteries on the racetracks, it seems we are still a long way away from fully electric Formula One cars. Of course, this transition will divide fans, but knowing how these motorsports evolve over time, we're pretty sure all electric Formula One will eventually gain fans' acceptance. Are you in favor of Formula One going fully electric in the future? Let us know in the comments below.